Yeah, I'm good.
No, because I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, I didn't even know that. So you're ahead of me.
We're going to talk though.
Once I see the announcement, I'm happy to talk about it. They didn't share it with me. Do you know anything about it? The announcement's going to, the province is going to create some new subclasses in the MGA.
Empowering relaxation. So like 50
The bill's being introduced this afternoon.
Oh, you're way ahead of me, all of you. I'm interested to know what that is. I suppose we'll talk this afternoon about it.
3:15 was it?
Yeah.
Can you
All right,
talk
let's go.
about how this tax relief package will be dealt with by council?
You mean logistically?
Yes.
Actually, members of the committee had a good idea, which is to have a short early morning meeting of council next Monday before our 9:30 meeting. Frankly, I don't think there's going to be a huge long debate about this. We have had many days of huge long debate on this. So I like the idea of having a time-limited debate and moving forward with this next Monday.
Is the proposal that you mentioned that Councillor Keating's working on it with other councillors and with yourself, is that substantially, at least in its current form as you're working on it, is it substantially different than what was announced on Thursday?
No, it's very similar. And so just so you understand the impact of that. So that first $70.9 million that I urged council to set aside for this issue, I mean, the ridiculous thing was that last week we found ourselves with $71 million and no way to spend it. But actually applying that in the way that the notice of motion, or I should say that the press release suggested, actually means a freeze on most people's property taxes. We've capped it at 5% for the last couple of years. This would actually cap it at more or less zero. It's 0.5%. So that's actually very substantial to make a big difference to people. And then the question is, how do you unwrap the rest of what was in that press release?
When you say a freeze, do you mean a freeze on business property tax?
It means people will not see an increase of greater than 0.5% versus last year's pre-rebate taxes.
Anybody.
It closer to $90 million to get a 10%.
If you recall, it was $70 million. It was $45 million for a 10% cap back in the fall. And about $70 million for a 5% cap. But remember that when we finalized the tax rates, we actually did a little bit of a shift. We reduced the non-residential tax by 3%. And so as a result of that, the amount you need to cap it becomes lower. Sorry? It was minus 2 point something percent, wasn't it? Now all these numbers are floating in my head. Katie tells me it was minus 2 point something percent. I believe her. There you go.
But the 71 million is not just is for the business property tax, or for the business property tax and the tax on residential.
No, just for the non-residential. It's about focusing entirely on the non-residential.
Are you worried about how much time this is taking? I mean, there was some urgent. The word crisis was used. Everyone admits it's urgent. It's taking a little more time maybe than you would hope to get.
You know what? We've got it. We've got a good solution in place. So I'm feeling very comfortable with that moving forward. I mean, at the end of the day, we could have had this solution last November. Council requested a bunch of time to think about other options and didn't come up with any better options, so here we are.
As you said, council made a decision. Did they know the decision that they were making, that this was going to be the end result, that they'd be revisiting this, or are they just trying to save face now?
No, I think they knew. I just think that they weren't quite ready at council last week to have a better solution on the floor. I actually asked a question which was very similar to what is being proposed to be done with the 71 million to kind of lay the groundwork for it. So I'm pleased that many members of council are moving in that direction. The other thing I should suggest is there's been a lot of misinformation on this, which is if we just cut our budget, everything would be fine. It's actually not true. Cutting the budget doesn't solve that problem. It maybe solves a different problem. If you believe city spending too much, that solves that problem. I don't happen to believe that. I think that we are very competitive, in fact better than every other jurisdiction of our same size. The problem is when you cut the budget, by law, you have to spread that amount across everyone. So you could spread it only on the non-residential side, for example. But if you do that, it means the people who are getting 75-80% tax cuts in the downtown get much bigger tax cuts. And it means the people who are getting increases get slightly smaller increases. It doesn't focus the money on actually solving the problem with these businesses that need help. And that's what I've been concerned about, is really getting money into the pockets of these small businesses.
Sure.
All right, thanks everyone. We got to get going.
How do you respond to this notion, though, that this is another Band-Aid? This is not dealing with structural change. It's just another year, buying you another year.
There is no question that it's a Band-Aid. I don't deny that. But the proposal that I brought forth to Council a few months ago actually also included the structural change. Now, Council said no because they thought there were too many variables in setting up our system for 2020, 21, and 22. I hope that we'll revisit that because that structural change is also important. But right now, as I often say, if you're bleeding, get the Band-Aid. I got to go. Thank you.